Right now, we want to get to what we know about last night's mid-air collision that took place near Washington, D.C. An American Airlines regional passenger jet and an Army Black Hawk helicopter colliding near Reagan National Airport, crashing into the Potomac River. A massive rescue effort is underway, and I want to get straight over to Eamon Javers. He is reporting live near the crash site. But before we do that, we want to go over to Phil LeBeau, who's got a rundown of exactly what happened. Phil.
This, Andrew, happened just before 9 p.m. last night. We don't have a whole lot of answers in terms of actually what caused this, and that's going to take some time to figure out completely. But here's what we do know. This mid-air collision happened about 300 feet above the surface. It was an American Airlines regional jet on final approach to Reagan National, 60 passengers, 4 crew members. It collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter, which was on a training flight. There were 3 soldiers on board. This is a map that shows you where that American flight was scheduled to land. And it's runway 33, the shortest runway. That's the approach that the American Airlines flight was on as it was coming into Reagan National. Both aircraft then, after the collision, crashed into the water of the Potomac River. This security cam footage, which came out last night, gives us a rare look at something we rarely see when it comes to an aircraft accident, the actual moment of impact, if you will. That light coming towards you, that is the American Airlines flight. There's another light that goes towards the aircraft, and then you see that flash. That is the apparent collision, again, about 300 feet above the ground. At this point, investigators are looking for the black boxes and how quickly they can recover the flight data recorder as well as the cockpit voice recorders. That will provide a lot of answers in terms of what happened last night. The NTSB is leading the investigation. The Reagan National Airspace, this is not a surprise to people who fly in and out of Washington. It is among the busiest in the country. It is not uncommon to see Black Hawk helicopters flying around while you were flying in or out of that airspace. Doesn't mean that it's dangerous. It just means that it is a congested airspace. As you take a look at shares of American Airlines, we should point out this is the first U.S. airline crash since 2009. Robert Isom, the CEO of American Airlines, is in D.C., flew in there late last night. He's there along with their GO team to work with the NTSB, work with the FAA, try to determine exactly what happened that caused this mid-air collision.
Hey, Phil, before you go, you know, they're landing close to, they're landing planes within 2 minutes of each other, supposedly, during this period.
Yep.
Throughout. And then you made this comment about, you know, the helicopters being there, and that's not always unsafe. As a layman, you think to yourself, given all of the particulars of trying to get a plane on the ground and how many planes they seem to be landing at one given time, this seems to be one of the most sort of busiest times. How is it possible that the helicopters are running training missions right next to the airport?
Great question. I don't have an answer for you, Andrew. Look, they don't just pick a spot out and say, hey, let's go on a training flight. As you know, the FAA, air traffic control, along with the military, they work out the routes and the airspaces that all aircraft are supposed to be in. Now, did one of the aircraft, for some reason, stray out of the path that they were supposed to be in? We don't know. That will be determined by investigators fairly quickly, I would imagine. The fact that this is right there, so close to the NTSB, the FAA, the military headquarters, they should be able to get some answers very quickly in terms of, at least initially, why they think this took place.
With 64 souls on board. Thank you, Phil. We're going to go straight to Eamon Javers. He's in Alexandria, Virginia right now. He is near, physically, the scene of the crash. Eamon.
Andrew, that's right. It's been a long, dark, and cold night here for rescue workers as they hope against hope that they might be able to find some survivors here in the Potomac River. So far, no indication that any survivors have been found in the hours since the crash. You can see over my shoulder here, Andrew, on your right-hand side of the screen, the main focus of search and rescue activity is on the water. It's closer to the D.C. side. We're standing in Alexandria, Virginia right here. The search and rescue is focused on the D.C. side of the river for right now, and you can see officials out there doing what they can to see if they can find any survivors from this tragic incident. We heard from the D.C. fire chief last night. He gave a sense of just how difficult this is. Here's what he said.
The water that we're operating in is about 8 feet deep. There is wind, there is pieces of ice out there, so it's just dangerous and hard to work in. And because there's not a lot of lights, you're out there searching every square inch of space to see if you can find anybody. Divers are doing the same thing in the water.
We've also got a statement here. Take a look from U.S. Figure Skating. They are confirming that a number of figure skaters were on this aircraft. They say, we are devastated by this unspeakable tragedy and hold the victims' families closely in our hearts. We will continue to monitor the situation and will release more information as it becomes available. Those figure skaters on board the flight were returning from a national figure skating event in Wichita, Kansas. That flight directly from Kansas to Washington, D.C. The flight's only been in existence for about a year, but obviously this is a highly trafficked area, Andrew. And as you were talking about Ronald Reagan National Airport, which is just to my right here, north of where we're standing, the airport is now closed. It will be closed, they say, until 11 a.m. No aircraft in or out of the airport, no vehicle traffic in or out of the airport, Andrew. All of the access points to Ronald Reagan National Airport are blocked right now by police cruisers redirecting any travelers who might be showing up at the airport today. So this is going to be a major logistical issue as the morning goes on, in addition to the human tragic elements of what we saw last night. Officials are hoping against hope, Andrew, that they might be able to find somebody alive out there. Back over to you.